Adam, and Mr. Michael Goodman coming in from America. So, in a second, going to be introducing you to Michael. But what we're going to be doing today is just having a chat with Michael, who has just finished his time inside the Back in Charge Blueprint. We're going to be talking about why he decided to jump in, why he felt it was the right decision for him, any apprehensions that he may have had, how he found his time inside the Back in Charge Blueprint, and then most importantly, like, what's he achieved? Like, what did he want to achieve? And then, what has he actually achieved? Like, that's always the real thing that people want, isn't it? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So I'm going to pass you over to Michael. Michael, if you'd like to introduce yourself, like, who are you? Where are you in the world? What do you do? Over to you.
Okay, fair enough. Thanks. Yep, as you said, my name is Michael Goodman, and it's right down there in the little label. It says Michael Goodman right there. And I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix, if you don't know, is arguably one of the hottest major metropolitan areas in the world. We spent the best part of July, actually every day in July was over 43 degrees centigrade across the city, many days over 46. And so it's a warm place. I love it here, though. I grew up here. This is my hometown. And in business, I am a business coach, executive coach, sales coach, and several other things. And so you and I have similar lifestyles, though your work is all about helping people be healthy, happy, fit, and, again, happy.
That's it, isn't it? It's like we're both in the coaching world, but I help people personally with their health, and you help people personally with their business and sales, don't you? So it's very same but different. Same but different. Yeah. So Michael, we got Kerrie. Kels has just jumped on and said, "Afternoon, gents." Now, it was actually Kels that you were connected to first, wasn't it?
I can't for the life of me remember how I connected to Kerrie. I don't call her Kels. She's Kerrie to me. That's the way it is. I don't know how I connected to her. It could be that she reached out to me, seeing me as a likely prospect. I don't know. And I'm very selective in who I allow to reach out to me if it seems like they're going to be selling me something. But what I got after we were connected was, this is a person living her life, raising kids. This was just at the time you were moving to Cyprus, and talking about what challenges and whatnot that were in that process. What I noticed is that she was always uplifting, always inspiring in dealing with whatever challenges, and sharing herself openly and vulnerably with the world, which I thought was brilliant. And I got to where I really trusted that she wasn't connected to me to sell me a training program. She was just sharing her life from a place where I understood and recognized from my coaching background as being in the space of transforming herself and what was going on. I didn't know you that well. I got to know your kids, I think, before I ever knew who you were. But Kerrie, I got to follow for around a year, and she would talk about life and challenges and how do we overcome them and what's the most effective way, and then talk about her physical health and how she managed her physical health along the way. And that inspired me. That was part of, I think that I need to get back on the treadmill again, so to speak, and get myself back in shape.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So what was the catalyst for you to reach out to Kerrie and, to have a conversation?
Yeah. So I'll try and keep this reasonably short. As a coach,
That's cool.
I encourage my executives that I work with to take big swings at life. And I know that in the process of taking big swings, they're going to run into their own challenges. And that's where coaching really begins, right? So I realized that I hadn't taken on any challenges for myself. Here I was telling people to do this, and I wasn't doing anything. And I was feeling a little bit like a fraud that I didn't do anything. And I decided that I was going to hike the Grand Canyon, The Grand Canyon is a mile down and a mile up. I decided I was going to lose 100 pounds because I said I would, and I was going to increase my financial picture significantly. And I took those challenges on for a calendar year. And I lost 92 pounds out of the 100. I got myself in a position to hike the Grand Canyon, which for an old, out of shape guy like I was pretty good. And I was proud of myself. And then I noticed over the course of months that my weight was creeping back up at about 3 pounds a month. I didn't notice exactly how much, but it was 3 pounds a month. And all of a sudden I was bloating out into this big, obese man who was not the guy who hiked the Grand Canyon. I wasn't as proud of myself. I wasn't as emotionally powerful to get out and do what I do because I was giving up who I had become to get in fit and in shape. And the way that I got in shape, the way that I lost weight for the Grand Canyon trek was through a commercial diet program that was designed to help people lose weight fast for medical purposes. And I did, and it was okay, but the food was horrible. The length of time it took was much longer than I hoped for. And the bigger thing was, it wasn't who I was. It wasn't how I was. It wasn't my lifestyle. I wanted a lifestyle that I could travel, that I could live effectively, and food was part of the journey, but it was a joyful part of the journey. It wasn't junk, crappy, terrible food. It was good. And I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know how to find it. And yet Kerrie kept talking about that. And one day I realized if I was going to do it, I should at least have a conversation with Kerrie, who said I should have a conversation with Adam. And that's how we talk about the Back in Charge blueprint. I didn't have a clue what it was. I was just hoping that there was an infrastructure within the Back in Charge blueprint to help me learn how to eat effectively so that I would be the weight that I wanted to be and live the lifestyle I preferred.
Nice. And that was 3 months ago, wasn't it? 3 months ago, wasn't it? So,
yeah, right. Yes.
Yeah,
a little bit more than 3
months. A little bit more than that. Yeah. Give or take a couple of weeks. So, when we initially spoke, okay, like did you have any apprehensions about starting the Back in Charge blueprint?
You're very kind in that you're asking that as a question, but you were there when I did have some hesitation and concerns. Do I step into this? Am I going to be able to do this effectively? Am I going to fail at this? Is this going to be another failed diet or something? I didn't have any clue what was in store for me at that point. But is this a waste of time, a waste of money, and is it going to be an ugly thing for me to take on that I'm going to fail at and be, quote, not good enough? One of the things that holds us back in everything is the not good enoughness that we picture. That doesn't have to happen, but that's what. So I was in my own head about it, and I recall saying to you, I'm not going to make this choice right this moment, and I needed time to have a conversation with myself, which I did. And yeah, Michael, you'd be an idiot not to take advantage of this. And that's when Michael said, okay, Adam, let's do this.
That's it. And that's the thing, isn't it? We all have this picture of ourselves of wanting perfection. Like we want everything to be perfect. But let's be honest, it never is it? There is no such thing as perfect. Me and Kerrie were talking about this. Kerrie, since you've been talking, Kerrie, I'll be calling her Kerrie. Me and Kels were talking about this morning, and that perfection doesn't exist. There's always going to be. You're always going to get a curveball. You're always going to get those moments, things that you don't see coming. I call them sharks. You could be swimming along nicely, minding your own business, and then out of nowhere, bang, they've got you.
Damn sharks.
I know.
Yes.
And that's the thing, isn't it? It's like, but you were like, okay, am I gonna be the failure? And that's the thing. A lot of people, when they happen, they go, oh no, I'm a failure. But that's just normal life, isn't it? We're always things like that are always going to happen, aren't they, Michael?
it's one of the biggest things to taking forward progress is you just have to accept that it's not a straight line journey into where you want to go. There's ups and downs and whatnot. And it doesn't mean that I am not susceptible to not wanting to fail, but I'm aware, and this is what I work with people on, right? So yeah, I was in a moment where I wasn't sure that this was the right thing to do.
That's it.
And now I'm happy to tell anybody who'll listen, it was probably one of the best health investments I've made across my entire life.
Say that again. So I didn't quite hear that.
Yeah. As I look at all the money I've spent on gym memberships and diets and whatnot, that investment was probably the best health investment I've ever made in my entire life, because it gave me back control of my life, my weight and my fitness and more. And so at this point in my life, I'm 68. And at this point in my life, I don't want to mess around with games. I want to do what I need to do to get where I want to go. And it put me squarely in the capacity to do what I set out to do, what I wanted to do.
Nice. Nice. That's it, right? You haven't got time to mess about. Just want to crack on.
Yes.
Just want to crack on. That's it. Get over to Italy. Crack on and get over to Italy.
You want to live on the Amalfi Coast.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Cool. So, let's talk about your time in the Back in Charge Blueprint now. How did you find it? And what's been the best part of being part of the Back in Charge Blueprint, would you say?
That's a big question. There's several things that have had a major impact. Probably the best thing are the one-on-one conversations with you every couple of weeks along the way, where you listened and heard what I was saying and what I wasn't saying. I have this thing called listening beyond the words, and it goes into what is thought, what is felt, what is really going on for that person when they use those words, whatever they are. And anybody who has the capacity to listen at that level has the capacity to bring somebody forward in transformation. I thought I'd heard that was a part of what the conversation was when Kerrie was posting material. When you and I spoke on the phone the first time, I got that that's not just a byproduct, but that is a main ingredient of who Adam is in the world of work. And once I got that, it made a big difference for me in the conversations. Even though I know a lot about coaching and all that, and I also know that I'm not impervious to playing the games that clients play, and I needed somebody who could hear me and say, "Stop it, let's do the work. Just do the work."
Which we did, though, didn't we? I remember having a conversation with you where I told you, Michael, take your hat off.
Yes. Take my coaching hat off.
Take your coaching hat off and put the real hat on.
Yes.
That's it.
And that you want to know what the best part was, is that you had no problem putting me in my place and getting me, and I shut up and I did the work and I got the results. Exactly. And so if you ask about the best part, that was it.
Nice. Cool. So what did you you said it earlier, you wanted the Back in Charge Blueprint to deliver. So what has it actually delivered for you? What have you achieved by your time in the Back in Charge Blueprint?
There are a number of things I've taken on based on the Back in Charge Blueprint. Morning routines and evening routines are much more formal for me now. I don't want to say formal, but they're just a part of my life at this point. Meditation was something I would have never thought that I would get engaged in as a daily practice, but now it's 2 times a day. Right? A number of other habits that I've taken on. Probably some things I'm not going to say because I don't want to spill secrets from the program, but there are some bracing moments in the day that I wouldn't have if I had not taken on the program. And so what I know is that my habits have changed and my capacity to perform has improved well beyond what I would have expected from a diet and exercise guy. Does that make sense to you?
Makes perfect sense to me. That's it. Cool. So for the people that are watching, come on in. They're probably like, well, come on in. How much weight have you lost?
Well, I am floating right around a standing 30 pounds right now. 30 pounds is, I don't know how many kilograms that is.
I had a little look. It's actually 31. I had a little look before this call, and it's actually 31 pounds you've lost.
Okay. Well, but you notice that if you're watching my graph, I'll go up a pound or down a pound or something, right?
Exactly.
So 30 is where I think my trend line is. I am halfway to where I wanted to get to. I didn't expect to get it all during the 12-week cycle, right? And I'll just continue on, and I will get there. And then I'll probably have to have a conversation with you about adjusting some of the levers to know how many calories and protein grams and whatnot. Although I think I remember seeing that in the program in one of the education sessions, right? So,
yeah, that's it. But this is the thing, like, you're halfway there. You're halfway to your goal of 60-pound weight loss, okay?
Sure.
And, let's be honest, getting people to lose 60 pounds in 12 weeks, like, we don't want that, okay? Because it's just going to rebound straight away, okay? Then you end up putting on 65 pounds. We don't want that, okay?
And that's what I've been doing all my life, that yo-yo.
It's frustrating, isn't it? It's frustrating. Yeah. So the big question is like, okay, cool. Well, you've lost 30 pounds. Your goal is 60. Do you believe that you've got the tools now to continue that journey to get you to your goal?
This is absolutely the number one reason why I'm incredibly intense about recommending Adam Alexander and the Back in Charge blueprint. I'm intense about it because what I wanted was a way to live my life so that I could eat comfortably, that I could eat, healthy, but always know that I was in control of my weight, where it was and where I wanted it to be. You asked me if I think I can get there. I am certain I can get there if I just stay doing the things that I've been doing, right? So that's it. And the only guy who's pulling the levers to make that work is me.
That's it, right? Yeah. We've given you the tools, we've given you the blueprint for you, again, because, I don't tell you what to eat, do we? In the Back in Charge blueprint, we don't tell you what to eat.
I will say you pointed me at Halo Top ice cream.
Oh my God, I remember that because that's on one of the group calls, wasn't it? And you were like, oh my goodness, what is this? What is this ice cream?
Yes. And now I know I have it in the freezer and it's awesome, but it's easy to know, can I have a beer? Sure, Michael, don't stress about it. Can I have Halo Top ice cream? Absolutely. Well, I could have any ice cream I wanted. Just know what it's doing and the impact and manage it appropriately.
That's it. Exactly. And this is the thing. It's like, this is the blueprint for you.
Yes.
What you're eating isn't the same as the blueprint. Say, for example, Graham, who we're talking to next week. It's not. You haven't even met Graham, so you don't know anything about Graham. So it's like, you two are completely different. Food wise, lifestyle wise, all of that sort of stuff. So it's like, it's not one size fits all. It's not me telling you that you need to have 2 shakes for breakfast and lunch and then a healthy meal in the evening. It's not that. It's you can eat what you want as long as you follow the blueprint, the guidelines, and that's it for you. So cool. Plus everything else as well. So, anything else you'd like to share, Michael? Anything else you'd like to share?
In my LinkedIn profile, in my Facebook profile, I must get 2, 3, 4 requests a day from people who want to sell me things. And, I have a huge sales background and I don't like bad salespeople. Bad salespeople are really clearly on their own agenda and they don't care what matters to me. And so I cut out tons of people from my from my orbit. Connecting with you all is probably one of the best things I've ever done. One of the way you go about and approach how you find and talk to people is in my mind brilliant and effective. And I guess if you're doing it for a long time, then it must be workable for you all. But I'm glad that we were able to connect and I could learn enough to understand that what comes out of the Back in Charge blueprint might lead with fitness, vitality, and weight control. But what there is behind there is it's like an iceberg. You might only see this top 7%, but everything that's underneath is powerful and life-changing for those who aren't satisfied with where they're at right now. I don't know how to say it much more than that.
Exactly. It's a bit like all the other guys that have come on. It's like we think that it's just the weight that's affecting us.
Yes.
But that's the thing. It's like once we actually sort the weight issue out.
Yes.
It's like the gate, isn't it? It's like we're allowing the water to now pass, and it's like you're going to be unstoppable then.
Yeah.
And that's what it is.
Right. And it's in every area of a man's life or a woman's life, right? If they were clients. I'm presuming you work with women somewhere, or Kerrie does, or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm not one of those, so
no.
Thank you for what I am.
Only at the weekend, Michael. Only at the weekend. Yeah, but that's it, isn't it? And that's the thing, isn't it? It's like once we work out what's stopping that person from progressing, and it could be something so simple as having the confidence to show up. If it is a salesperson, having the confidence to show up on to a sale because they're thinking about how their appearance is coming across to that person that they're trying to sell to. It's like, hang on, let's stop you there. Let's get you. If we remove that, so then you then walk in confident and you're not worrying about that, you can then concentrate on the actual task at hand.
Yes.
What's that then going to do to your life? What's that going to do to that situation? How's that going to improve the person that you're speaking to?
Yes.
And then the people whose lives that is then going to improve around you. It's like a ripple effect.
That's a good way to look at it. It's a ripple effect, because if I change who I am being out there and I connect with people and they see that and appreciate that, they can do, and all of that's because Adam said, I'm going to make sure that I make a difference in the world. Tell me that there isn't a part of you that doesn't get proud that you make a difference in the world.
Yeah. That's it.
And the cascading impact is pretty significant. So if you ask, the depth of the program is huge, and what people will get goes health and fitness and goes into relationships. It will just make a difference in their relationships, in their business life, in the relationships with their kids and friends, and they will discover a new sense of joy in those relationships.
Exactly.
So,
yeah, that's it.
If you want me to say that to your audience, I will.
You just did.
Oh, wait, I just
did. Cool. And then, look at what Kerrie just said. Or Adam Alexander potential clients are worried they're just coming in simply for a transaction and not actually cared about. And that's the thing. It's like we do generally care about you guys. It's like most of mine and Kerrie's conversations are about you guys in the Back in Charge blueprint, along with the kids as well. But we're always chatting about you guys. It's like, when you guys update your weight measurements, your measurements every Monday and Friday, it's like, oh yeah, Michael's done this. Every day for you, I'm like getting your measurements and I'm waiting for that to come in. I'm like, yeah, Michael's done this, Michael's done that, and we generally do care.
It's hard to know that when you first start out.
Of course it is.
Right? But when you get in the program and you start hearing what Adam is saying, and Kerrie is saying, you get that it is more than just a mass template program for everybody. The one-on-one sessions, the group calls, are really powerful ways for Adam to connect with us as people, right? And us to connect with you.
That's it. And then you've then still got the connection with all the other guys that come onto the group calls and that as well. And you guys are forming some good bonds and can really see that, you know, when you guys chat amongst yourselves, it's you can really see that. It's really good. It's really
good. Thousands of miles away.
Exactly. You know, like you're in America, you're on the west coast, we're on, you know, south of London. So
Yeah.
there's a good few thousand miles away there. Now, did you have any concerns about that?
No, I really didn't. For me, every day it's an adjustment from pounds to kilograms, is right to from Fahrenheit to Celsius. So how do I measure this in centimeters so I can put it in the app? That's, you know, but is it a concern? No, that's why God invented Google, to tell me what the real number was, and that's what I did. The distance isn't relevant. Bridging the gap from heart to heart is probably the biggest challenge for somebody who's doing the work you're doing. And I've been proposing taking that on, moving to Italy and working with my American clients from Italy. And so part of it has been for me a laboratory to watch how Adam does it to make sure it's workable for me when I do it. And you've bridged that gap very effectively by the one-on-one conversations. I think we do take a hit from using Zoom or media computers to talk to each other. I think we do take a hit from the feeling sense of connectedness. But I also think we don't take that big a hit when we're paying attention, when we're listening carefully, right? And you do. And that creates relatedness. And then we can all laugh amongst each other for making our own mistakes, right? So I hear Cathal talk or others, and I'm like, oh, I don't even know who they are until I hear them say something. And I go, oh, that guy's serious. He's a serious player in his world. I didn't even know, right?
No.
And some of these guys are big players, so it's very cool.
Yeah, that's it. Cool. So, Michael, have you got anything else you'd like to share before we wrap up today's call?
We've covered a lot of ground, and I appreciate that. The things that I really wanted to make sure I talked about with your audience, with people who are in your circle and mine, because this is on my Facebook Live as well, is I wanted to make sure that people knew that they were getting a lot more than just a diet and weight guy. I wanted to make sure that they knew that they were getting somebody who had behavioral transformation experience that translates incredibly well, that it goes way beyond what we start with into lifestyle transformation for people to be much stronger, that you and Kerrie are who you appear to be. You're not somebody false on the world, right? This is who we are. And I appreciate you spending time telling me how much you guys care about us. There is a connected and a bondedness that occurs. Right? One of the greatest coaches that I know yells at his clients all the time. It's like, how do you do that? It's because they all know that he loves them unconditionally. And that gives him permission to get on their case when they need to. And that's where you operate from. So thank you. What do I want to say?
Nice.
Thank you.
Nice. Well, thank you for being part of the Back in Charge Blueprint. Thank you for coming on today and sharing your journey. And thank you for putting your trust in us as well. So, guys, if you would actually like a breakdown of the Back in Charge Blueprint, then I'm going to share it with you. Okay, I've just created a little training on that. So if you would like to know what goes into the Back in Charge Blueprint, just like send me a message with the word breakdown, or comment below in the comments with the word breakdown, and I will get that sent over to you for you to find out. Now, next week on Coffee and Chats next week, I'm actually joined by Graham Jordan, who is a financial advisor who is part of St James's Place in the UK. And we're going to be joined with him. And he hasn't had a very straightforward 12 weeks in the Back in Charge Blueprint. And next week, we're going to be finding that out. So, Michael, thank you for taking the time. I know that you got up super early to come on to this call today, but thank you. and I will speak to you all very, very soon.